I'll make a motion that we approve the minutes from March 23rd, 2026.
I'll second that motion.
Been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
I'll make a motion, we approve the claims in the amount, hold on just a second, of $340,414.10.
I'll second that motion.
It's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
We don't have any adds and abates today. There are none. And do we have any changes to the agenda for today?
Yes, I need to add to the current 15-minute executive session that's listed there that will be Lisa Kelstedt, the appraiser, Dustin Schuler, the deputy appraiser, 3 commissioners, and the clerk. And then I need to add a 5-minute KSA 754319 B4 for financial affairs with the counselor, 3 commissioners, and the clerk. And then I need to add a 5-minute KSA 754319 B2 attorney-client privilege with anticipation of litigation with the counselor, 3 commissioners, clerk, and Jenny Cummings.
Allison needs to sign.
I'm sorry, what'd you say? Did you say
Said
something?
Allison needs to sign.
Oh, okay. And then also on new business, we're going to discuss the parcel letter that we received from Lacine Municipal. And then we're going to move the dog laws, vicious dog laws, to next week. The agenda for next week. We do have all the information. We just haven't had time to review it. And I think that's it for me. Do you guys have anything else?
I don't. I'll make a motion. We approve the agenda as amended.
I'll second that.
It's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
AMR?
Good morning, Don Brooks with AMR with your monthly ambulance report. This month, March 1st through 29th, Blue Mound has had 16 calls, 4 transports. Centerville, 4 calls, 2 transports. Lacine, 47 calls, 17 transports. Fontana, 5 calls, 2 transports. Mound City, 26 calls, 12 transports. Parker, 2 calls, 0 transports. Pleasanton, 39 calls, 21 transports. Prescott, 8 calls, 4 transports, a total of 162 calls, 66 transports, with an average response time of 14 minutes and 32 seconds. Anything else from me?
I don't have.
Thanks,
Thank you, Dawn.
Sheriff's report? No, I pulled up.
Yeah. Total prisoners 54, farmed out 0, farmed in 25, 911 calls 48, total jail contacts 5285, total calls for service 772, civil service papers served 22, bin inspections 16, new cases open 40, cases closed 23, vehicle crashes 2, bailiff contacts 105, livestock out 5. I'll get this to roll on down for some reason.
SRO calls for service at 71.
Thanks.
Got your back.
Randy? I know he's here. I just saw him.
He left us.
He left us. All right, I can pull it up. You want to read it today, Jason?
Yep.
Thanks.
Weekly fire report for 323 to 329, wildland fires 9, motor vehicle accidents 3, natural gas leak of 1, fire alarm 1, vehicle fire of 1, and mutual aid of 1.
Thank you. IT?
I thought he was going to come over, but Chris and I met last week in regards to the being able to hook up and having Zoom or Teams or whatever meetings may need to take place on our computer with a device that's hooked up over here. It's pretty simple. Hook it into our computer, press a button, and we were able to hear perfectly fine through everything. So anyway, that was what he was going to report on. So
Perfect. Thank
Okay.
you. County attorney? You think Justin's coming over? Public Works, Jesse, you ready?
Morning, Commissioners. Jesse Walton with Public Works. Brought the mechanics in today to discuss questions about our equipment and the servicing and warranties that we have on them. So if you have any questions, I've got the mechanics here to answer any of those questions.
Come on up, guys. Morning, Commissioner.
How you guys? It just brought to my attention about some of the breakdowns we've had in our preventative maintenance program, and I just wondered, could you guys explain it to us as far as our older equipment, what our preventative maintenance is?
So our preventative maintenance plan, at every 250 hours, we pull oil samples, and we send those in. They analyze them. If they find any metal in it, like say in the oil, or if they find coolant in the oil or oil in the coolant or things along that line, they will send us a report. CAT does it through a program called Vision Link that we are subscribed to. We send all those, even for the John Deeres, they have the information for the oils that we use. So they have clean oil to compare to what we're sending them. And so we get all that back on that Vision Link system. We do the 500-hour oil change, and then CAT will come in and do the 1,000-hour. So when they do those, they're doing a thorough check. They do a multi-point inspection. A lot of times, I know even for me, they've caught things that I didn't catch. So it's very beneficial to us to have them come in and do that. They spend all day with the machine, go over it bumper to bumper, and then they make notation of that and bring it to us so that we're made aware of any issues that we can get in there and get them fixed. That goes along with our John Deeres. We have them come out on certain service intervals. They run a overhead check valve lash, and then they also bends their the transmissions are computerized, and they have so many different electronic things on those. They will go in and hook their computer up to it and check to make sure that there's not an excessive play in the clutches and the transmissions. And if there is, they can adjust those with their device. We don't have that technology, so we rely on them to do that for us.
You guys feel we're doing a sufficient job, enough services with?
We're doing everything that we can. Now, when we have catastrophic failure, like the engine A to valve, a lot of times there's no previous indication of that. It snaps, falls in the cylinder, and you're done.
And on like the machine that happened on, there was no warranty out there that we could have had.
No, we was completely out. The warranties that we have are just on our excavators that we recently purchased. Generally you have we'll call it a bumper to bumper 12 month, that covers absolutely everything. And then, they have what they call a premier, 84-month plan that kicks in after that and takes care of, a lot of other, components. I talked to Rodney and he said that a lot of times, on that extended or that premier plan, a lot of sensors and things aren't covered. But as far as the mechanical components of the equipment, that is covered in that premier plan. Also with the CAT service plan, they send us, at each service interval, they'll send us a kit that has the filters. A lot of times it will be any engine oil or hydraulic oil that is needed in that filter replacement. So they send all that to us. It's built into that service plan.
And we have that.
Yes.
Okay. Well, I had some people reach out to me on whatever we were doing and said there was plans there that
Right.
was not, that we'd discontinued.
Yeah.
And,
No, we renew those, a lot of, on our blades. I think, that's come up in the past that, hey, this plan's set to expire and we throw it to you because it is a substantial amount of money to keep in that plan. And, so as long as we renew those, it just keeps on rolling.
But it's still not a warranty.
No, it has nothing to do with warranty. It's just a service plan. And like I say, the greatest, thing, that is in that is they come out and do that multi-point inspection where they spend all day with the machine and they go through it completely. And it's very, very beneficial for them to do that. But yeah, that is a separate from the.
just like the loader that went down, that thing it's got some years on it, right? Not a lot of hours, but
Right.
years.
Right. And, with that warranties, it's either time, whether it's hours on the machine
Right.
or it's, how many days have gone by. And, those expire whichever comes first, just like your vehicles.
Right.
And
Okay. Well, that was my question. If anybody else has any, but,
I don't have any other questions.
I understand the repairs are expensive. It goes with the territory. I mean, nothing on this heavy equipment is going to be cheap, sadly.
Especially not replacing.
Right. Yeah. When you have to replace an engine or transmission or anything like that, and the machine's got a lot of hours on it,
well, that's the reason why I asked you guys to come in, because
right.
if you felt we was doing anything, we could do any more for preventative maintenance on this older equipment.
I feel, I don't know if these guys can comment. I feel like we're trying to do everything that we can, on the preventive side. So.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Well, good, thank you.
All good. All right.
Thanks for coming in, guys.
Have a good day, gentlemen.
Thanks. Appreciate it. I have some bids that have come in that were due on Friday that I'd like to go through. First, we have our hay lease ground that we'd like to go through.
This one's from Linda.
Here's your handy dandy.
This one's from Linda Conley, bidding on the hay ground around the airport, $3,700.
Larry Reynolds from Lacing. His bid for the park is $2,580.
Land lease from Kenneth Baugh. Section of Tucker, East 950 Road. Bids $12,000 even.
Larry Reynolds was this Lacing Park is what I thought it was, 580.
Thank you.
I'll go back through those and we'll award those out next Monday. Next, I have the bids for the 1095 culvert project on the north end.
Mine's from Z&M Construction and Land Development. For a total of $397,500. I don't know where they're out of.
They're out of Garnett.
Mine's Kilo Construction. $309,721.
Nail Excavating LLC out of Bethany, Missouri for $219,000.
This one has two bids, I guess. One's for 2-inch option. That was 3-inch or 6-inch asphalt option was a $309,721, and the 2-inch asphalt option's $293,721.
Thank you.
We'll go over those and bring those in next week. The HVAC bids came in. We've reviewed those, went over those. We'd like to award the bid to Myrick Mechanical for $6,542.72 for the year. That gives us a quarterly inspection of $1,635.68 per quarter.
I'll make the motion that we go with Myrick Mechanical for the HVAC bids at $6,542.72 per year for quarterly inspections.
I'll second that motion.
It's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Did the bids for dust control last week also. We'd like to award the bid to Home City Grain at $1.35 a gallon. The cost per foot will remain the same from the county this year at $2.14 a foot with a 200-foot minimum and the $25 application fee. And the total cost of that minimum will be $453.
You guys have an issue with it?
I don't know.
No.
I'll make a motion that we go with Home City Grain at $1.35 per gallon. Total cost per foot will remain the same as last year at $2.14 per foot. That's my motion.
I'll second it.
It's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Tony with Terracon has been working with us on our landfill expansion out there. He's agreed to come in next week at 10:30 to have a discussion about the landfill expansion and what we're going to expect to go through on our permitting process. So he'll be here for that next week, just so you know. We had a crew come in Wednesday evening, get the generator all unhooked, get it all stacked up. We did get the generator moved on Friday and all the components down to the south shop. This morning, Greg Bears moved in a Traco already this morning. They're getting ready to start demolition on that building. So I've been over and visited with them already, just so you're aware of that. We're going out for fuel bids. It's that time of year again, so that'll be coming up. So everybody be aware of that. Those will be coming in. We're done with our culvert project out at Centerville going west. So that road is going to be open. We plan on, that's on our agenda to go through and pave over those spots where we've replaced those culverts. We'll do all those spots and the spots in Blue Mound as we go through. On 1095, we're going to be starting some culverts up there here in the next couple of weeks before they start doing the overlay on the north half of 1095 on that road. Dust control. I think that's all I have for you this morning, unless you have any questions for me.
I don't have anything.
I don't have anything.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Jesse.
Did you have something today, Jenny? Yeah. I don't have you on the agenda. So.
She just. You want her separately?
Mm-hmm.
No.
Yeah, we had to make note of planning and zoning.
Do you want me to wait until next Monday?
What's it about?
The dog
The
ordinance.
dog ordinance?
Mhm.
We'd already moved that to next Monday.
I did not know that. Thank you.
I'm sorry, I just said it right before, when we were doing the agenda. But we did get all the information. We just got it last night, so we just talked about that, whenever we were going through the agenda. We wanted to kind of look over it this week and then
Sure.
be prepared. So we will officially have it on the agenda next week.
Okay.
And can we make sure and invite, James Akes over for that too? Or anyone in that office that needs to be here?
Okay.
We do have a 5-minute executive session.
Okay, thanks, Jenny.
Thank you.
Mm. Do you want to do that first and then go into you? Or do you want to?
We can do ours after, so we can get back to work.
That's fine. Yeah, I'm good with that. If you. Okay, that works for me. We'll go into an executive session for 15 minutes in accordance to KSA 754319B2 for attorney-client privilege, anticipation of litigation with the appraiser, Lisa, deputy appraiser Dustin, the 3 commissioners, the clerk, and the attorney. That's my motion.
I'll second that.
It's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Returning to the Commissioners' Annex Room at 9:40. There was no action. Randy, do you want to come up? Thanks.
Good morning, Commissioners. Randy Higwood, Linn County Rural Fire Emergency Management. The only other thing I have today is I have resolution number 2026-05. It's a surplus property resolution. And what I'm asking for is to take out of commission 26 bunker coats, 30 sets of bunker pants, 10 sets of wildland gear, 20 miscellaneous suspenders, and 15 old structure fire helmets. I do have a couple of departments interested in the bunker gear. Most of them, except for a pair or two that have holes burned in them, could be reused at another department. They're out of date for us to use. The suspenders and the wildland gear the suspenders are all stretched out. They're not good for anything. And the wildland gear have had holes, rips, tears, stuff like that. So those will be just disposed of, but that's what I'm asking permission to do.
Look at this. I'll make a motion, for this resolution 2026-05 for the declaration of surplus property for the fire department. We approve it.
I'll second it.
It's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
The only other thing I have is we are currently out for bids for bunker gear. We did not buy any in 2025, so we're doubling up for 2026. So we'll do 10 sets out of special equipment, and that's some of the money that got transferred this year was the money we didn't spend for bunker gear, and then I'll ask permission to spend what we budgeted for 2026 for 10 sets. We budget for 10 sets a year, so that should be a couple weeks. I'll have the bids where we can open them. So, other than that, I have nothing unless you guys have questions.
Okay.
All right.
Thanks, Randy.
I'll make a motion. We go into executive session with 3 commissioners, the clerk, Jenny Cummings, and the attorney for 5 minutes in accordance to KSA 75-43-19 B4 for financial affairs, returning back into the commissioner's annex at 9:50.
Actually, this is for client privilege, attorney-client privilege. I'm with Jenny as client.
Oh, sorry. So,
B2.
hold on. Yeah, B2 for attorney-client privilege.
Yes.
Sorry about that.
I'll second that motion.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
I make a motion, we extend the current executive session 5 more minutes.
I'll second it.
It's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Returning at 9. Oh, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, returning at 9:55. There was no action. Justin? You wanna come up? So, how are you today? Good. We had received a letter and, I'm sure you received the.
Sure,
For
absolutely.
review as well.
Yep.
If you want to discuss it publicly, that's fine, and if not, want to go into executive session?
Yeah, we
give me a
can't,
reason.
yeah, we cannot discuss it in public because of active ongoing cases and truancies and things of that nature.
Fine.
I'd like to go in for two reasons. There's another issue that is brewing that the sheriff and I would like to talk to you too, and it deals with the same type of potential litigation, so it would be attorney-client privilege. We'd ask for the three commissioners, the county councilor, the sheriff, and myself, 7 minutes.
I'll make a motion. We go into executive session for 7 minutes with the attorney, the three commissioners, the sheriff, and the county attorney, Justin Meeks. That's my motion. For attorney-client privilege, KSA 754319 B2.
Active ongoing litigation and possible litigation.
Okay, I'll second it.
It's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Returning at 10:05.
for copy.
Thank you, Jacqueline.
Way better than my alarm.
Still a little more soothing.
Yes, exactly.
There was no action. Go ahead, Justin. You can just,
So we did receive a letter from Prairie Free School Districts concerning some truancy issues and some other allegations of following up with some possible criminal things that happened. Those things we think most of them did occur prior to me becoming county attorney. I do have a meeting with all the interested parties tomorrow at 3:30 with them. And so we'll go through all those processes and talk to them about it and hopefully have the questions answered. One of the things I did talk about was truancy. So in Kansas, there's some specific statutes that relate to truancy. There are basically 3 unexcused absences consecutive, 5 in a semester, and 7 for the total year that are unexcused. And we actually work pretty closely with DCF and the different state agencies to help with those truancies. We actually have a program that's it's a good thing to have in Linn County, that it's kind of like an IIP program that helps the kiddos before we actually file the truancy cases. And they work with the kids to make sure they go to school. So I have 2 staff members that actually track those truancies to make sure the kids are going to school. And we actually call the parents, talk to the school administration, and find out why the kids are missing. And if there's a medical issue, we don't file. 16 in Kansas, with the parents' permission, you can sign yourself out of school. They're in Linn County. There's some really good online school options. And then if you're 18, obviously you're an adult under the laws and you can sign yourself out of school. So our goal is to help kids graduate. I'm a prior educator. My first job before I became a lawyer was a teacher, and I have a lot of teaching background with my family history. So education is a passion of mine, and I want kids to graduate. And even on my end, as a county attorney, I do have discretion with that. So hopefully we can answer that school's concerns. I have met with some administration at Jayhawk Linn, and we plan on hopefully getting some meetings set up with Pleasanton before the end of the school year so I can introduce myself and my victims coordinator, which we're sending off to training, which I'm grateful for. She's been very a key part of our office. So if there's any other questions or concerns, but we're following up on the letter, we'll hopefully have answers to that letter and go from there. If there's any questions or concerns, please ask.
Okay.
I don't have anything.
Yep.
Thanks, Justin,
Thanks.
for addressing that.
Yep. And I'm going to stay up and stand here because this topic has come up too.
All right, go ahead.
Sheriff James Akes. So switching gears here, got a call last week from the board president of Tanglewood, Chuck. He had seen on Facebook where some individuals had threatened to tear down the gates once the gates are up. He asked for some advice. You know, the best I could tell him was a soft approach to the gates. I advised him, send out letters, let them know that the gates are going back up, send out their cards to swipe into the gates, make sure that they work. I asked him what his plans were as far as, how soon was he going to put the gates up? And he says, well, in 2 weeks. And I just told him my personal opinion. I thought 2 weeks was too soon. I thought that, you'd have a softer landing if you sent out a letter, let the people know that the gates are going back up and this is the procedure. And then I also told him that, a great start time, might be 4 weeks. You send the letter out now, and then in 2 weeks, you send the letter out again and let them know that time. That way you have time to get the cards in people's hands, make sure that they work, and, that kind of procedure. We went into a little bit more detail of when the gates do go up. You make them active on a Saturday. The board members could stand next to the gates to make sure that nobody has any malfunctions with their cards, get it addressed, and make sure that everything is just a smooth, seamless transaction there. And hopefully he takes our advice. I did tell him that if he had any issues, we could go up there and assist and make sure that everything was seamless. So that's where we're at with that. As far as the the threats that he perceived as threats on Facebook. It was, it was more of freedom of speech type thing. This is what we're doing. So, right now, we don't see any perceived threat right away. So,
My office received some phone calls too, and we didn't perceive them as threats, but obviously feel like I have a good working relationship with the sheriff's department and the undersheriff, and I think we have a game plan. If someone decides to make a silly mistake and commit a crime, we're gonna charge it and we'll prosecute it.
absolutely. So if somebody decides to take it into their hands, or we end up with a incident like we did last time. So, I mean, they're not, it's completely different, and they're not restricting them to and from their property. They simply have to swipe the card. It's not, they're not restricting them or their access or removal of the property. So, we have no issue, there should be no issues for them to enter or exit the property. So at that time, if they do touch the gates, it is going to be criminal damage, and they've got very good cameras. They've got a very good camera system set up at the gates, and we're going to have access to that.
They're just restricted non-members now. They're not
Correct. So non-property owners,
locking their members in because of.
Well, Commissioner
Correct.
Johnson, I'm making assumptions because I haven't read the newspaper or anything, but I'm assuming you guys did take over ownership. It's a private road now.
You
That
guys-
probably
yeah,
lined it.
they-
Yeah.
It's
So to
private.
me, that changes the fact pattern significantly from the last time around, based off what I've seen. So.
Correct. So, yeah, so we're trying, I don't know what they're doing or what they're gonna do, but we're trying for a seamless transition into this. So.
We don't want to prosecute anybody, but we will. And the sheriff will make arrests and give us
Yeah.
the PC if something happens. So.
Yeah, so, and, the cameras are good enough. The cameras they have up there are good enough to catch whatever mischievous behavior there is. So, yeah, I mean,
We don't want that behavior though.
yeah, we don't want that behavior, but, with the letters going out, explaining everything, and when this process is going into effect, nobody should have an excuse that I didn't know. So that's where we're at with that. So, you guys got any questions?
I don't have any questions.
Okay,
Nope.
all right,
Thank you for your time.
thank you.
Thank you, guys. Have a good day. I'll go ahead and open it up for public comment. Mike, nothing today? I'll close comment. You want to go in for 5 minutes? You good for that? I'll make a motion. We go into executive session for 5 minutes in accordance to Kansas statute 754319 B4 for financial affairs with the clerk, the 3 commissioners, and the attorney. That's my motion.
I'll second it.
It's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Sorry, returning at 10:19. There was no action. Ready for you? Yeah.
I just have two things. I want to let you know that last week we had Gina, and I just drew a blank on her last name, that came down from the state in regards to our election cleanup with all of the street cleanup, that sort of thing. She was able to, I guess in the past, with our former clerk's knowledge of how elections worked, he didn't have to do this, but we do not have this knowledge. And last year, I believe, an individual got the wrong voting ballot because they were at the wrong precinct. Anyway, she came in, cleaned all of that up, so now there's no room for error. It will be taken care of. So, and she shared tons of information with Cheyenne and I that was really beneficial to both of us.
Good.
I'm also headed to Manhattan this afternoon for training, and I'll be there until Thursday. And then the other thing I have is the handbook. So. Nice.
I had one thing for you with, I just had, Don George had reached out to me. I think I'd said this before, maybe, but I had it on my calendar. If we could add him to the website,
Okay.
meetings, he would like to provide information for wildlife and parks
Okay.
on the website. I don't know what his hours are over there with you, but. You guys ready to go through the handbook?
Sure.
Okay, you want to start?
Yeah.
Pull-
Okay, so this is the completed handbook with all of the changes that you have asked for. I asked for it to be put in a readable document without all of the other changes that we have had. I sent this to you in an email last night. So I don't know if you would like, I guess my recommendation would be, now that it is completely quote unquote finished, if you would like to go through this, we can do it word for word here, or if you would like to take it home or look at it over the weekend or the week and then make a final decision on Monday, April 6th, we could do that. I do know the one change that needs to be made is on page 2 with your signatures, and I will get that ready to go for the approval aspect of that the following week or whenever you actually are going to approve it. Like I said, I don't know if you want me to sit and us talk about this word for word or.
I think we should just read over it and approve it next week.
I'm good with that too.
And then the second document was the drug and alcohol policy. I did follow up with Miami County and Fort Scott's urgent care. Miami County does not do any drug testing unless it is work comp related, which we would send a packet with them as well anyway. But urgent care does have, we would treat it just like anything else. We would send them down.
So Fort's good.
Correct. And they would contact one of us at the HR department and get approval for that. Of course, if it was workman's comp, they would have a packet to go down there with that. But again, that would be up to us. Correct. Yeah. Otherwise, during the 7 to 7, they will go to Pleasanton. So. Also moving forward, any new hires, we were doing the drug testing in-house. Any new hires, though, will be going to CHC in Pleasanton due to FedEx not being very compliant with picking up the samples that needed to be tested. Matter of fact, last Friday I did hand deliver to a FedEx location in the city to be able to have one read. And it cost us extra to have it read. We have to We do the drug test, then we have to pay $20 to get the report, and then we don't have to do that at CHC. We just pay for the test and we're done. So moving forward, we will be doing that. So
That was good.
Can we put that one isn't in there, right? Is that an older one?
say that,
I was gonna.
Oh, this was a
come and look
previous
at it, and then, so this is the new one.
yes.
That's old.
Yep. Okay.
So we will, all of us read through it. Send
If you have
questions
any
through the week.
changes, please send them to me prior to Wednesday if at all possible, no later than Thursday, so I can get those changes made within the book and make any changes that we need to come Monday, but
Okay.
potentially trying to approve this come Monday.
Okay, I'm good with that. Do you have anything else? Okay, moving on into new business regarding the Lacing Planning and Zoning Partnership. Did you guys get that email? You want to look at it? Okay, so my only issue would just be the establishing a mutual agreed upon price per acre. I don't think that we can publicly, we can't do that really. I mean, we can agree to engage in economic development efforts on behalf of these properties. We can authorize our commitment and ensuring that the industrial park roadways are maintained if we've already agreed to that.
I mean, to the extent that the county is deeming it in the best interest of the county to sell or dispose of any property that the county owns, there's statutory mechanisms for that have to be followed, including fair market value for those types of things. So
You want to look at it? Yeah.
to establish some sort of price per acre that would theoretically be possible, but per sort of season or time frame or whatever to ensure market value is being established and relied upon for that, as is the statutory obligation for the municipality. So if you were to decide that you wanted to establish some sort of price per acre, that would have to be based upon market value, and it would have to be time oriented. Otherwise, each parcel would have to be evaluated for market value, like through commercial methods such as appraisal, that sort of thing.
And I guess my question would just be our position on that in the past has been, if someone was interested, we came in here and we always go into executive session to talk about the sale of the land. So how would we collaborate with them with what they're asking? Are we authorizing? I'm assuming they would like to put it on social media. They have these opportunities, come in here, develop here. I'm not against that. But I don't think we can put a price on it unless.
So the method would be that there are public opportunities. It depends on what the underlying value of the property is, exceeding a value, then there's a public mechanism for that. Underneath the value, I believe it's 25,000, but I can look that up. So
Are we opposed to authorizing the city to advertise and engage in economic development of efforts on behalf of these properties?
I'm not opposed to something happening there.
What, they're just gonna advertise, where you get it, they're gonna advertise that we have property for sale.
That's what it'd have to be.
That's the only thing that I think too. Linn County has property for sale, and if they choose to do that, I don't guess there wouldn't be a problem there, would there, Jacqueline?
I
We
mean,
allow them to advertise for us is what.
That's essentially what we'd be doing.
so develop here, but I mean, we just can't put the price on it. Do we want to respond to them, or would we like them to come in and have a open conversation about it, or just authorize them? They can advertise however they wish.
But we have
But
to
it's
do
Linn County.
negotiations with it as well, I feel. Do you not?
Yes.
That's what I
Yeah.
think. If they advertise that we do have property for sale, the negotiations will have to be through the county commission.
I guess also on reaffirming Linn County's commitment to the road maintenance, I'm wondering, I haven't heard of any complaints, so I was wondering if that paragraph meant that we haven't been maintaining those roads, or what that even means. I have no idea.
I haven't. You heard anything, Jason?
I haven't.
I haven't heard anything.
I haven't heard anything either, so.
KSA 19-11 is the statute that governs property owned by the county if that's going to be sold. There's publication requirements for that, as well. I don't know how long you all have owned the industrial park land in Pleasanton and in Lacine, or if you published in the paper your intent to use that to develop the economy of the county. But perhaps we need to revisit the extent to which those motions were made or resolutions passed here, and the extent to which same was published in the newspaper that allowed the public to be aware. And insofar as that was at least a year ago, as far as, I started April 7th, so we certainly haven't done it in that amount of time. It might be beneficial to sort of republish any and all land that you all have decided is for the purpose of developing the economy of the county, and advertising that those are available for sale, depending on the value. Again, if the value does not exceed 50,000, it can be by public or private sale or by negotiation as determined by the board. In excess of 50,000, there's, another method for that as well. So
Is that something that should be on our website as far as?
yeah, to the extent that you all are really interested in disposing of property that is owned by the county for the purpose of bringing businesses into the county to acquire such, land and develop the economy of the county, those mechanisms are pretty well laid out in the statute. It might be, worthwhile to liaise with Lacine as well as Pleasanton or wherever else those properties kind of overlap to any city limits. I don't know if you all recall whenever you published in the paper or made any types of motions or passed any resolutions for the sale of such property. So if you all can't remember them, perhaps it's time to
Reaffirm.
redo that to make sure the public is aware of what parcels are available for purchase.
Okay. I'm good with starting there.
In response to the letter, are we just not going to reach out, or should we reach out and have Zach come over here?
I think we should have them come and
Ask.
tell us what they're hoping to gain and what they're looking for out of this.
I would like clarification, and then also reiterate the statutes to them, like what we can and cannot do.
Okay.
Would you mind reaching out to them? Okay, thank you.
Time to get blood.
I did have an individual reach out to me regarding the Oz and the Raws a few weeks ago. Just so you guys know, I may have been confused to that meeting. I was not under the impression that they were two different things. So when we kept saying we had already signed an agreement that is accurate, but what that guy was talking about was just the Oz. Maybe
Okay.
you guys were following that. So I wasn't, and then someone had reached out and gave me a paragraph form of the differences, and so the next time he comes, I'll go into more depth maybe with that
Okay.
point. And I think that's all I really had. Do you guys have anything else today?
I don't.
Jason?
I don't know.
I just need to clarify one thing in regards to the financial affairs that I just wanted to make it public that we're trying to evaluate some new procedures in the way bills are paid, and we will move forward with a standard of procedure, and that will come soon regarding that. So
Okay.
Can you also provide the commission with all the departments who are frequently receiving late charges or not getting the receipts to you on time
I can do that. Yep.
for each department? Thank you. Good.
I'm good.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second it.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye.